All right, good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
How are you, George?
Wonderful. Yourself?
Welcome back to Kramer Street.
Thank you. It's a long time.
It's a bit chilly this morning, actually, but it's okay. We've got the seagulls, a couple of walkers around, but the ground's in absolutely magnificent shape.
Well, it's the best I've seen it.
Yeah. George, you've got one hell of a story, and I want to explore that with you a bit.
Yeah.
You come from the Ukraine. You were
Yes.
born there
Yes,
in 1941.
correct.
Yep. In the town of...
Dnipropetrovsk.
Okay, I'll get the spelling of that later. Okay. A couple of 100 kilometres from the Black Sea
Yep,
and near the Dnieper River,
right on it.
right on the river. So pretty cold, harsh environment.
Well, in winter it would have been. Yeah.
Yes, yep. So you were born at the time of the war and the Germans occupied Ukraine?
Yes, well, I don't remember that at all
No.
because I was too young.
Yes.
But yeah, the Germans occupied Ukraine, and my mother got out when they retreated.
Right.
Went back to Berlin,
Okay.
catch up with the sister.
Okay, and how long were you in Berlin?
I think about 3 years.
About 3 years. From just after the war or just before the end of the war?
No, the war was still going. When we
Still
went.
going.
Yeah,
It must have been harsh times.
it wasn't good.
No. You've got memories of being in a bunker?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Terrible environment to grow up as a youngster. But you survived,
I survived. Yeah,
which is amazing. And then your mother explored leaving Germany as part of the resettlement program
Yep.
to overcome refugees and homeless throughout Europe. Then you had the choice, or she had the choice of Canada, Australia, or
Argentina.
Argentina. Fortunately, she chose Australia.
Yeah.
So out here on a boat, that must have been a long voyage.
It was because it was an old cargo boat which they'd done up to transport migrants.
Right.
So, but it was all right. Like when you're a kid, doesn't matter what you're on. You know, you just go.
Yes.
But yeah, no, that was good.
So you arrived firstly in Fremantle,
No, we arrived in Sydney.
in Sydney.
Yeah,
Okay.
in Sydney,
Okay.
and we got sent up to. Forget the place. Doesn't matter.
Mhm.
We went up there for a short time, then via Adelaide, where my mother had friends,
Yeah.
and finally finished up in Geelong.
Wonderful. So Geelong, that would have been a big change from Berlin and Ukraine, I'm tipping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was, yes.
So how old were you when you arrived?
I was 8.
8 years of age. So you didn't speak any English?
No, not a word.
Okay. Had you ever seen a cricket bat? Never heard of cricket?
No.
No. Funny about that.
First bat, or first cricket I'd seen was in grade 5 at Geelong West. It was in school.
Okay. So you had to learn the language,
Yeah.
which you did, and then adapt into life as a 8, 9, 10-year-old in Corio. So learning football and cricket would have been the two big things, I guess.
Well, yes, football was. I got the ball at one stage. I was at full forward or somewhere, and I got the ball, and I said, "What do I do with it?" I said, "Kick it through the goal." I said, "Where's the goal?" No, never mind.
Never mind. So you started playing cricket in the playground?
No, not then. It wasn't until we got to high school when we were in Geelong West, and I got talked into going down to join Aberdeen Street Baptist.
Right.
Under 15s. So first year was just a year, getting to know what it's all about. And the next year, I made a couple of hundreds and we won the flag. Clive Rawlings and I both made hundreds in the finals, and we went from there.
That was on the mats?
No, Malthoid in Geelong.
Malthoid. Okay,
Yeah,
so you wouldn't be
mats.
hooking and cutting too much on the Malthoid?
Oh yes, I was always a hooker and a cutter.
Okay.
Always.
Okay.
That was the sensible thing to do, I thought.
Right. So after leaving high school, you went to into the workforce. Where did you go?
Well, I was going to join being an industrial chemist, so I went to the phosphate works, and that was hopeless. So I gave that away and went into town and got a job with the ANZ Bank.
Right.
And that was interesting because that was also the start of their savings loan accounts. They didn't have loan accounts in those days. So what we had to do, two of us, we used to go out to factories and stick up big envelopes so people could stuff their money in their box and put it in there.
Right.
And then we'd come along and look after it. So that was fun.
Okay. So you started with the bank in Geelong.
Yep.
And to get on in the bank, you generally had to do some transfers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you went to whereabouts?
Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Yeah, Ascot Vale, yeah. And from there, I went to Creswick, which is just outside Ballarat, and I played cricket there.
Right. Okay.
I made, I'm not sure, 300, 400, 500, something like that in one season, because their bowls weren't too good.
And then you finished up in Traralgon?
Yes, but before that, in Melbourne, I went down to Northcote to see if I could get a game with them. And they said, yeah, you can go out and field. I said, what, do I get a hit? Do I get a bowl? They said, no. I said, well, I'm going home. So we'd met Jack Potter at a ball, and I heard that he was in charge up here, so I thought, oh, well, I'll come up.
Right.
And spoke with Jack and Rowley and joined here.
Okay, so that was 71, 72?
Yep.
Yep. And is it true that when you turned up for your first training session here, you said to Rowley or Jack, play me in the first or don't waste my time? Or words to that effect?
Something like that, yeah.
So that would have rocked them a bit, but they took the punt, and it was a good punt.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, because you finished up winning the batting average in your first year with the club, which
wasn't bad.
Wasn't bad.
As Jack Potter was here then.
Yes, strong batting lineup, and your batting average was over 40 from memory.
Something like that.
Yeah, a good team. Playing under Jack must have been a highlight.
It was, because he was a great leader.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he was a great coach, but he was a very good leader.
Yeah.
So that was very good.
Tactically.
Yeah.
Yes. And it was a good team. We had a bit of mixture of old and young. So we had Brent Paul. You've remained pretty good friends with Brent over the years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Brent was in the latter years of his career at that stage. Kevin Carroll, who was straight out of university.
He came in later.
Yeah. Kevin Carroll.
We had a great fast bowler.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but we couldn't hold catches and slips.
Right.
So he went after 1 year.
Right.
Then Eddie took over.
Okay. Your first year coincided with Eddie's first year.
Yes.
Yeah. So Eddie's an 18-year-old or thereabouts.
Yeah.
Made an impression straight away.
Yes. Yes, he was a good bowler.
Yes.
And thought well of what he was doing.
Yeah. And you were coming in before or after Potter?
After.
After?
Yeah.
Yep. So back in those days, you had Bobby Morgan opening with Greg Shank, and I think from memory they had excellent years.
Yeah, they were good. And then Potter would come in number one.
Yeah.
First drop.
Okay.
I'd come in probably third drop generally.
Okay. Number 5. Now, in February of that year, you played Yarraville at this ground. And Yarraville batted first and made
170 something.
170 something?
Yes.
Okay. They had a reasonably strong side. And we came back the second week to
chase it.
To chase it. And it was a bit of a disaster for a while. What were we? We lost a lot of wickets. I think 5 or 6 guys made ducks.
Yeah. I think we were 8 for 60 something. And chasing 170, so it didn't look too good. So I then dug in with Don Hudson, and he held up one hand. And I said, Don, I'm just going to chase the runs and you just stay with me, which he did. I think we got to about 100, and then he went out, and Gary Morgan came in.
Gary Moore?
Well, yeah,
Yes.
and I said to him, well, look,
Yeah.
just stay here, just block everything on the stumps, otherwise do nothing.
Right.
So that was good, and we finished up catching up. I got 140 not out.
Out of 187?
That's right. That wasn't a bad sort of effort.
Exactly, particularly the attack that they had. Rex Close was a very good bowler, predominantly with Essendon and Footscray. Bit of pace about him. And John Harmer, who actually played a few games for Victoria in the late 50s, early 60s. Very, very good player. Medium pace, but excellent control and swung the ball. And another guy called Beams. Was he quick?
Yeah, medium.
Yeah.
He was about, medium pacer.
Right, okay. So, from a pretty grim situation, the legend came out of that, 147 not out, and Potter declared on you.
Yeah, came out and said, what do you want to do, bat on or declare? I said, well, it's up to you, you're the boss. But if you declare, I want to open the bowling. So I got the ball, had 2 overs, got a wicket, and then our keeper got ill because they had a party the night before, and so I took over and got a stumping off Donny Hudson. So it was a fairy tale sort of a day.
Absolutely. You had a few that night?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Now, Gary Moore tells us that he was critical in the role, in fact led you through all of the pressure that was on.
That's fair enough.
And said he actually made the best 5 that's ever been made in the history of the club here at Cromer Street.
He's probably right.
He's probably right. He said he displayed hooks and cuts and drives.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but he stayed there. That's the main thing.
Right.
So that was good.
Fantastic. What a wonderful memory.
Oh.
And it's still a club record, 10th wicket record as far as I know.